Welcome to Outlaw Edge. So today we're working on getting a transmission pulled out and all that, working back on this truck. But I did see that this bracket, you see where it broke completely off. That's a main support right there for your front suspension. And that's stock factory here, but obviously it looks like some hillbilly got a hold of this and like this piece is broken out and welded in from the backside. And then I already took it off, but that's how it was sitting on there like that, just kind of whoop. And that's all busted off. So this weld's gonna have to be cleaned up and re-welded and gusseted, braced or something. This one they put some goofy ass bracket in there. And then if you pull it out on the backside, you can see where they patched in a piece here. It's horrible. So I'm gonna get this cleaned up and figure I just, TIG weld all this stuff back together, put a brace over the top of it, some gussets, whatever. We'll do it right. We'll make it a lot nicer than factory. So this, I'm not sure if you can pick it up. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. Yeah, you can kind of pick it up right there. That crack went all the way across this thing, and this piece was welded on the backside, but the crack was actually on the other side too. So, and like I said, you can see that crack right there. So I'm grinding that out, cleaning it up and getting it prepped, and then I'll either MIG or TIG right in there and fill that and then smooth it out. And I see a lot of guys do that where they'll put the weld on top and then they'll grind the weld off. Well, it's just gonna crack again because you're grinding all the weld off. You want to do a V in there, that way the weld's down inside the metal. So I'll get over and get set up with the welder and see what we can do. So all I want is a big fat flush weld right over the top of that. So I'm getting down inside that weld really good so that'll hold. And then when I hit it with a grinder, it'll smooth it off. So at least it'll look nice for the customer, And I'll grind it all and primer it and paint it and whatever. This side gets welded to the other mount that's on the truck. So obviously, I'm not going to tape it off or nothing like that because it's on an old beater snowplow truck, but I still want to take pride in my work. So I'll still, after I'm done welding this, I'll grind it down and clean it up, make it look nice. But I'll set the tripod up. The reason I'm doing this video is I wanted to say, if you have even if it's small jobs on a customer's car, sometimes it's just a quick job. Take pride even in that quick job because that quick, easy job could turn into something big. And, they can say, hey, that's really nice work. Can you fix this? And then that turns into this, and then another job and another job and whatever. And we try to do that in our shop. Some customers are just never happy, and that's how it is. But we wean those customers out. We don't have those customers anymore, and that's good by me. But I wanted to thank Carlos Martinez in California. Thanks, brother. Really appreciate you sending me this stuff. He sent me a whole bunch of metallics and pearls and just a ton of stuff, big box of stuff. It was really cool. And that's all stuff that we can use in the shop, in the paint booth. And some of the stuff is trick. I mean, some of the pearls and the colors and all the metallics and flake and everything, that'll be used. Go check his channel out. I'll try to put the link down below. And I really appreciate it, Carlos. Thanks, brother. And then the other one is this is another channel that I want you guys to go check out, and that's Oak Swamp. And he sent me this shirt all the way from England, and love this shirt, man. He's got some cool ass shirts. The guy's got some badass cars that he builds, and he builds I wouldn't call them rat rods, but to me they're like traditional hot rods or vintage style hot rods, and they are awesome, man. Brian, thanks so much, bro. That was really cool that you sent me that all the way from England, and obviously we sent him a shirt back, and he got it the other night, so I wanted to wait till he got his shirt before I did any videos or whatever. I'll try to get this video up tonight, but I'm gonna get back after it, try to get this stuff TIG welded. I'll probably just set up the camera and work. I want to get this job done today, so we'll see what happens. I noticed one of the things with TIG welding years ago, and it was something that was always told to me, is like, if you're TIG welding, one of the best things to do is make sure you're super comfortable. So I put a little piece of scrap right here. I'm not sure if you can see it on camera. Oh yeah, you can. But this piece of scrap, I just put put it underneath there, but I do have a little mini table that goes on top of this table that I can set it up higher so that you're welding where it's kind of almost in your face where you can see really good. And it helps, you know, it helps a lot. Trying to get my welding helmet set up here. All right, I'm gonna keep on welding on this, and actually I'm gonna put another glove on because this thing keeps zapping my ass. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Another thing too is I have a lot of people that don't TIG weld. They're asking me, well, how do you weld? Do you use a trigger? And no, I don't use this trigger because they see me not moving my finger. This is set up where you can use the trigger, or down below underneath the table there's a foot pedal, and I'm using the foot pedal. So, but obviously you can't see that on film. A lot of porosity in here. It's from rust or whatever, you know. The other thing too is I let it purge out. I let the gas purge on the weld so you don't get big bubbles or whatever. And a lot of times you still do, but you let the gas purge instead of, when you're done, when you let off the pedal, you don't just pull the stinger away from the weld. Let me flip this around. So I'm not going to bore you guys. I'm just going to go ahead and finish welding this up, and then I'll try to get it ground down, and that should clean up pretty nice. Let me get a close up on that. So what I'm trying to do is a nice big fat puddle over that, and excuse me, and obviously right here, oh crap, sorry about the crap camera work, right there you see porosity. That's what I was talking about, where it's got a nice big hole. And you know, you're gonna have a lot of this with you can see some dirty spots in there. I couldn't get down in there good enough, but as long as I get this welded, you know, from here to here, I mean, it should be all right, because I'm biting down inside that weld. And like I said, I have this ground down really good with a grinder, so that it you know, that weld goes down inside there, and then when I grind over the top of it, it'll be a flush weld, and I'll be able to paint over it, and you'll never be able to tell there was a repair on this piece of metal. And it's nice and thick. This is like 3/16 inch thick, so there's a lot of weld on there, you know. And then it's also welded on the backside. So the next step, I'm taking this piece of plate that I just cut. I forgot to film that, but I cut this plate. It's I believe it's like 1/8 inch, and I put this on the backside of that mount. And on the opposite side, there's a crack right here. So I'm gonna wrap this around till it's about right here, because there's a bolt hole that I don't want to cover up. So I'll be welding on the backside of here, and that's gonna brace all this stuff in theory. And if I need to, I'll put another gusset on the side or something. I don't know yet. I'll mount it up in there and see what it looks like before I weld this edge, and then go from there. And then I'll sand all this down and grind it and clean it and whatever, make it look nice before I paint it. So the next thing I did, this is still hot, but I made a 1/8 inch plate that goes on the end of this, and it dips that end down so that I can go right into that frame section and weld right here, and then it'll give me some spots to weld on the side. So this will act as a gusset almost on the end of this. That's where it kept breaking, and you can tell that it's been broken a couple times, and they keep welding it. So by having the gusset on the side here and here, and then having this plate in the front, I think it'll be all right. And then I'll be able to weld, you know, have the little gusset right here and welds right here. So I think that'll be nice and strong. This is still kind of hot, but final fitment here looks like it'll fit nice. and then I could tighten the bolt up where to hold it in place, and then I could weld that edge right here. So shouldn't be too bad. Well, it's kind of overkill, but turned out all right. So I'll go ahead and spray some primer and some paint on this thing and call it good. Well, that's not too bad. I put some quick paint on it, primer and paint, just so it's not gonna rust. I'll do the rest of this later. But not too much time into it, and do it right, make it look nice. You know, if a customer gets underneath this truck, he's gonna be like, damn, that guy took pride in his work. And to me, that's what it's all about. And that's way stronger now because it's got that total, I wouldn't say it's a gusset, but that brace on the outside. Because this was all busted in here and here and here, whatever. Obviously this is the opposite side, but I put that plate right over the top of this thing and wrapped it around and welded everything solid, and it has a gusset on the inside, so it should be a lot better. Tell me what you guys think down below. Appreciate you watching. See you on the next video. Later.